It's Thanksgiving in South Dakota. For the Kayser family, no cranberries, football, or pumpkin pie.
When most folks, they're laying on the sofas with their pants unbuttoned because they ate too much turkey, not us. We were burning calories. There was smoke coming out of our rear ends. That's how many calories we were burning. Covering the country, looking for whitetail. We looked in the river bottoms, the creek bottoms, then we moved out into the big open country. What were we met with? A lot of mule deer. There were a lot of mule deer on this ranch. Now Cole's license was good for either or.
On the ranch that we were on, the hunting was really different because and it was kind of weird too, because the mule deer and the whitetail had almost switched places. The whitetails were up in the breaks while the mule deer were down in the river bottom. We thought that was kind of weird too. But there's deer that are on the river bottom all day long. They can go out on the fields on that same ranch. And then there's a creek bottom and all these ridges and little ravines and stuff that they can hide in.
As we got up on the high hills overlooking this big valley full of timber and a creek drainage in there, and below us was playing out one of the most spectacular sights any hunter, if you're lucky enough, will get to see. See, he's fighting now. Oh. Mule deer bucks hitting head to head, and I mean for the fight of their life.
You know, it was really exciting for me to see those mule deer fighting, and they tore each other up. Like, you could see there was little bits of hair on their horn. You could see where they had jabbed each other in the side, and it was just really exciting.
The deer were everywhere, spectators all around watching this fight. There was one reason for that fight, and I think you know what that is. A hot doe. Once the fighting ended, the bucks didn't leave. They were circling like sharks, but what they were circling on was that hot doe and that mature buck who were trying to get to their love nest, but they were getting pestered every minute of the way. Talk about a stressful situation. For me, Cole didn't seem to mind. Watch this other buck over here too. Don't move too much because there's another one coming in. Okay. But that big buck would come out with that hot doe and we'd just get ready to shoot him and he'd turn. Then he'd be quartering. Then he'd be straight on. It was just one position after another, seconds apart. Cole could never quite get that buck to stand still.
And so they were trying to go up in this little ravine, but the doe didn't really want to go in there. She would circle around a little bit, but we could tell that where he would be because he was following her. So if I could see the doe, he would be right there behind her in a few seconds.
And again, we knew why, because seconds later, that big buck started breeding that doe. She was at prime estrus, and we were seeing it all play out in front of us. Fighting, chasing, breeding, everything. Okay, get ready. I can't hardly see him in that hole, but he's gonna come out again because there's another buck circling around right here. Cole had decided right then that was the one he wanted. He wanted to get that buck because it was giving him a memory like he'll never forget. Here he comes. Here comes the big one. See him?
Oh, I see him.
All right, he's quartering. He's quartering.
You know, I was pretty confident that I could make the shot, and it was about 150 yards where they were playing around at. I had my dad's backpack laid across, I had the bipods up, and I was leaning right into my rifle, and I was pretty steady.
He's quartering to you too much. All right, if he stops, shoot him. He's another one in. Another one in. He's down, he's down.
I was just so excited that I had shot him.
Cole Kayser, I about wet my pants on that. That deer has put us through the ringer. Oh, that was cool. And I mean, you made a great shot.
So this was my first ever South Dakota mule deer, and I was really excited. My dad was right there with me. He was just as excited as if it was his first deer.
What do you think? Look at this. he's got hair on his
From that other
antler from
buck.
fighting.
Wow.
Ugh. That's a pretty nice mule deer.
1, 2,
It was
3,
special
4.
beyond belief, and it was definitely a memory maker for me. Just having those bucks fight, having all that chasing going on, and the hard hunting we put in to get to that ending point, that's what hunting's all about.
Extreme Pursuits is brought to you by Polaris. See the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Hunter's Specialties, for sportsmen, by sportsmen. Real Avid, true to the core. Nikon, the trusted name in optics. Truck Vault, manufacturers of the world's finest in vehicle secure storage systems. And by these other fine sponsors.